All right, welcome Facebook. Today we're talking about building business credit for your EIN following these steps. So I'm glad we're doing this. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Ty Crandall here at Credit Suite, and I'm excited to be diving in today, and we're going to decode in depth exactly how you can build business credit. Now, if you're not familiar with business credit, we'll talk a little bit more about what it is and how it works. But today we are all talking about corporate credit. We're talking about business credit. We're talking about business credit that you can get for your business EIN number that's not linked to your personal Social Security number. That is going to be in depth what we are going to be talking about. Now, if you're not familiar with business credit, there's a lot of benefits that you're going to learn on why you want to build business credit. Let's stop right there. So start right there. So what we're talking about here is building business credit for your EIN that's not linked to your personal Social Security number. So there's a lot of benefits that this provides, including the fact that when you're going to do what I'm going to show you today, you're able to get all this kind of credit without regardless of personal credit quality. I'm going to show you how to do this where you don't even have a personal credit check. AD Jewel, welcome. Thanks for coming in. And this is going to be very fast. I'm going to show you how to get off this live stream today and immediately start getting credit for your business in your business name that's linked to your EIN, not your personal Social Security number. So all the credit we're going to talk about how to get today, you can get without a personal guarantee. You're not providing a personal guarantee because you're not providing your social. There's not even a personal credit check required for approval. Now, another huge benefit of what we're going to discuss today is this is credit you can get approved even as a startup. It's hard to get money as a startup because, again, a lot of banks want you to have 2 to 3 years tax returns because more established businesses are lower risk. But with business credit, you can simply get it when you can't get financing, including being able to get this even as a startup. It also doubles your borrowing ability because you can walk into a place like Staples and get a credit card, but you can't walk into Staples and get another credit card as a consumer. You can walk into Staples, get a credit card, and get one as a business as well, giving you double the borrowing ability. Okay, now we're also talking about something that increases the value of your business and gives you a competitive advantage. By having access to money, it gives you a huge competitive advantage, and by having access to credit lines for your business, then if you ever go to sell the business, it radically increases the value of the business itself. Now, of course, these are accounts that report to the business credit reporting agencies, not the consumer credit reporting agencies. So this credit won't adversely affect your consumer credit. Robert, thanks for the comment. I appreciate it. Krista, working on this now. Perfect. Well, we're going to be able to talk about the versatility of credit right now. You're also able to do this with no inquiries on your consumer credit report, and you're able to get very high limits when it comes to business credit building. The limits of the credit I'm going to talk to you about today are about 10 to 100 times higher than what you'll find with consumer limits per SBA, okay? This is one of the biggest mistakes business owners make. They try to use consumer credit to fund the business. The problem with that is consumer credit, 30% of your score is utilization. So when you use these credit cards to fund your business, you max out your utilization and you severely damage that aspect of your score. You don't need cash flow for approval. You don't need collateral for approval. And credit doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, what we're going to talk about today with business credit, this is the only way you can get financing for a business even when you can't get loans, even when you can't get credit lines. In order to get any kind of financing from a bank or from an alternative lender or from anybody that lends money, you need to have one of three things. You need to have good credit, you need to have cash flow, or you need to have collateral. If you don't have good credit, cash flow, or collateral, you cannot get any kind of business financing. You can't get a loan, you can't get a credit line, but you can still get business credit. That's what I like about business credit. I call business credit a catch-all because anybody can get it. Everybody can get business credit. If you're a well-established business, well, then there's a lot of benefits in getting it. But even when you're not well-established yet, even when you can't get conventional financing, you can still get business credit. So now, to the topic at hand, we're going to talk about how to build business credit for your EIN following these exact steps. So remember, we're talking about credit here that's under a company's EIN number. It's not linked to the personal social, okay? You're not even supplying the Social Security number on the application. This is true business corporate credit that's linked to the EIN. As we mentioned, you don't have to provide a personal guarantee for approval, so you're not liable for the business debts. So if you ever do default by some unknown reason on the credit card, you're not personally liable for that debt. And there's no cash flow requirements, there's no collateral requirements, there's no credit requirements. Anybody can get this. As we talked about, there's no effect on consumer credit. That means two things. One, since you're getting credit using your business credit to qualify, there's no inquiries on your consumer credit report. Inquiries account for 10% of your consumer credit scores. Utilization accounts for 30% of your consumer credit scores. So by not putting inquiries on your credit report and by not having the accounts you're getting report on your consumer credit reports, you're maximizing your consumer credit scores. Now, why that matters? Because you're going to need consumer credit. Look, even as a business owner, you can't get around consumer credit. When you want loans, when you want SBA loans, when you want high limit credit lines, your credit will matter. So save your credit until you really need it and don't use it to get things like applying for business credit that you can get without the social. In our world, in the business loan world, even one inquiry can cost you $25,000, $30,000 in funding. So you have to be very conscious of when you're letting people pull your credit, and when you can reduce inquiries or eliminate somebody inquiring on your personal credit report, you want to do so. And business credit gives you this ability. It doesn't affect your consumer credit reports because there's no inquiries on your credit reports, and it's not reported on your consumer credit reports, which keeps your utilization intact. Startups can get it. And again, when we talk about this, we're really talking here about corporate credit. So what is the difference? Okay, I refer to this as business credit, but really it's corporate credit. The difference is corporate credit is credit you get without a personal guarantee. Business credit may have a personal guarantee, maybe not. So I'm really going to map out the steps of what's literally called corporate credit, because this is credit you can get without a personal guarantee and personal credit check. Don't get me wrong. You can apply for this credit and provide a personal guarantee and provide a personal credit check if you want to. And then it's more considered business credit. But again, if you're getting credit without the personal guarantee, that by definition really is what corporate credit is. Hey, Christine, welcome. Thanks for jumping in. So Christine's with us today. Christine's over 800,000 in this kind of credit. So she's a good reference, and we'll throw in some tips here as we go. Okay, so errors to avoid. If you want to do this correctly, then what you need to know is that you don't want to put your social security number on the business credit applications. And you also want to follow these steps in order. This is getting more difficult. May 11th of this year, they just released a law where major banks are now sometimes requiring a social security number. To avoid money laundering and all this bad stuff, banks, big banks that are government insured, are now required to get social security numbers even if they're not doing credit pulls. That's unraveling as we speak, and you're still going to be able, per our conversations with a lot of these credit issuers, to still get the credit without the guarantee and without the credit check, but some of them will now start requiring more social than you should know. But in the past, you've always been able to get this credit without a social security number, and in a lot of cases in the future, you're still able to do so. But if somebody now tells you they must have the social on the application, the key is to know, are they pulling your personal credit or not? The good news is the Fair Credit Reporting Act requires that you notify, or that they notify you, or that you give them permission if you're going to pull the personal credit report. So if you don't give them permission, they can't pull the personal credit report. So look at what you're signing and avoid a social security number at all costs. But I'll be the first to admit, with this new regulation, it is possible that they may ask for a social. You just want to make sure you avoid that social security number, or you avoid the credit check. Now, you want to follow these steps I'm going to map out in order. If you skip steps, you fail. It's that simple. A lot of people try to build business credit and they fail. And here's why. They skip ahead. They go into their bank to get a Visa card when they don't have any credit established to be able to get approved for the Visa card. When you skip ahead in the steps, you're going to have to provide personal guarantees. You're going to have to provide personal credit checks. If you don't want personal credit checks, if you don't want personal guarantees, you have to follow these steps in order. You skip steps, you fail and get denied, or they require you to get the personal guarantee or the personal credit check. Fabries, fashion, accessories. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. Okay, so Uline shipping. So the very first thing that we want to do is we want to come in here and, before I even get here, I'm going to jump ahead. We want to start right here at step one. The very first step of building business credit is to set up your business legitimately, okay? So think like this. My goal for you is to be able to go in and get credit cards without a personal guarantee, without a personal credit check, automatically, right? Automated approvals. You know how this works. When you apply for a credit card, you either get an automated approval or you get that dreaded message that you'll hear by mail in 7 to 10 days, which is almost always a denial. So what we have to do is get automated approvals. In order to do so, we have to know how these computers work. Computers are making the underwriting decisions, so we need to figure out what they're looking for. And if we understand what they're looking for, you can meet that criteria and then get instant automated approvals with no manual review. How does it start? It starts with business legitimacy. So the very first thing you need is you need a professional website, you need a professional email address. I shouldn't say the first thing you need. There's no real order to these things that you need to get. You need to have a professional appearance online. Get a website, get an email address that's professional. No Yahoo, no Google, nothing like that. It needs to be a professional email address. So for example, our website is creditsuite.com. My email is info@creditsuite.com. The email is the same domain as the website. You need to get a phone number. You can never use a mobile phone, never use a home phone on an application. It needs to be toll-free, okay? And you also need to make sure the phone number is listed with 411. Now, 411 is a very important requirement right from the beginning, and here's why. Because you can't fake 411. You cannot go to 411 and list your own phone number. They have to organically pick you up online. We use a company called List Yourself. They charge $30 a month for our clients. And with List Yourself, they will list your phone number with 411 with you. It's a redirect if you don't have that. Beyond just getting a phone number, beyond getting a toll-free number, you really need to make sure that you have a fax number as well. A fax number is very important on applications where it asks for a fax number. Why? Because a legitimate, credible business has a fax number. It doesn't mean that you're not legitimate if you don't have a fax number, but if you have one, you look more credible than a business that doesn't. Remember, you can control the perception that lenders and credit issuers have of your business. So why wouldn't you want to? Give them the perception that you are the biggest, most powerful business that you can. That is what gives you the best chance of getting these automated approvals. So get a toll-free number. Have a fax number, okay? Get the phone number listed with 411. Here's how addresses work. You either want to have a physical address, a virtual address, or worst case scenario, you want to have a home address. A physical business address is where you really have your business in a real location. If you don't need this or don't have it, you're working from home, consider getting a virtual address. You can go to creditsuite.com/virtual to get a virtual address. This is where you're basically renting a mailbox at the location, but you can still use the address. So it looks like you have a big physical location at a big office building or a complex when really all you're doing is getting your mail there. Now, the last case resort is that you want to use a home address. And if you use a home address, some sources like Walmart still won't approve you. And you also should know that now the reporting agencies are putting Google Street views of your business on your commercial credit report. So if you use your home address, you have to understand that there's a really good possibility that a picture of your home can show up on your business credit report. If you want to avoid that, you need to go with a physical address. You need to go with a virtual address. What you never want to do, never use UPS. Never use a P.O. box. I know. Everybody's tried to convince you that a UPS address is a real street address. It's not. All UPS and P.O. box addresses go into a database that lenders and credit issuers all have access to, they all tap into, and their computers access and check your address against to determine approval or denial. As a matter of fact, this is one of the biggest reasons that people get denied for building business credit. They're trying to use a UPS or a P.O. box address. It's one of these that may automatically get you denied. A lot of these we're talking about, they're red flags. Like, for example, if you use a home address, well, Walmart won't approve you, but Amazon will. Some will approve you, some won't. But a P.O. box and a UPS address is a one-way ticket to the majority of your approval or your majority of applications ending up in denial. You have to avoid them. You're better to use a home address when it comes to applying for business credit than using a UPS address or using a P.O. box address, because those are in that database that will automatically get you declined in a lot of cases. Lenders and credit issuers just do not like this. Okay. The other thing you need is any necessary business licenses you need to make sure you have. If your county, your state, your industry requires a license, you need to make sure that you have those licenses. You also need to make sure that all of your information is consistent. It's congruent online. You need to make sure that your address, you need to make sure that your phone numbers, you need to make sure that your name is all congruent online. Look, the business reporting agencies look at Yelp, they look at Yellow Pages, they look at Facebook, they look at your website, they look at Bing and Yahoo. They get data from all these places. The problem is that credit reports are populated for your business per its name and its address. So if they find that you have different names or addresses, what happens in a lot of cases is they will populate separate credit profiles or separate DUNS numbers from you. Then you have a convoluted mess and a bunch of ones you have to pull together into one record, which is not easy to do. You need to make sure that all of your information is congruent online. As a matter of fact, this one factor is the number one reason that we find that applications get denied at the banks. When you put a name and address on the application, what they pull online is different than what they find on your application. And then they automatically err on the side of conservative, and then they automatically deny you. Okay, so that being said, you need to make sure that all of your information online is congruent as well. Now, Shanta says, I just started my business. I have a home daycare. How should I list my business? LLC or sole proprietor? Sole prop. I use my home address to get a virtual address. Here's what you want to do. Also, as part of this reputation, you have to get an EIN, you have to get an EI, or you have to get an entity set up. Now, Shanta just pointed out, what's the best? And as Pepsi, I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, is saying an LLC works well, and so does a corporation. The problem with sole proprietors and the problem with partnerships is you are the business. You are the one and the same. So if your business ever gets sued, you get sued. And I'm not an attorney, but I'll tell you, that's a pretty bad idea. You want to make sure that if your business gets sued, you have some layer of protection or separation between you and the business. An LLC or a corporation gives you that layer of separation. So then that helps you separate your liability, especially when you start building your business credit. So a lot of things involved here, from getting a toll-free number, making sure you have a website and an email address, any necessary licenses, that you make sure that you have your home address, phone number, everything stay consistent, that you set up your EIN, you set up your entity, all of those type of things. When you do that, that is what gives you business legitimacy. That is what sets off a series of checks that credit issuers are looking for that will get you through the first algorithm, the first part of the actual approval process. So what do you do next? Well, the next thing we got to do is, again, if you haven't already, this is when you want to initially set up your business. You need to make sure that you go to your Secretary of State to set up your business entity. You need to then get your EIN from the IRS. And the third thing you need to do is open your bank account. Now, the reality is that you need to do these things pretty much right away when you start the business. But of course, you have to have a business name first. So if you come in and think of a business name, you might do this step before this step. You might come in and do some of these things before you do this, but you need a business address. You need a business phone number. A lot of the things here you're going to need when you set these things up here. So you need to make sure that, again, you have some of these things, because when you need them, you're going to need to put them on the application for your entity and for your EIN, and you need to make sure what the Secretary of State has is the same as what's on your application, which is why you want to do a lot of this first. Now, the next thing you want to do is start the business credit building process, okay? Great, you're on the right path. That's exactly what we're trying to do today, is make sure that you are. So in order to do this, you want to go to Dun & Bradstreet to get your free DUNS number. You can go to creditsuite.com/DUNS to be able to get that. Now, if you don't have any trade accounts reporting, you need to know you can be issued a failing score with Equifax and Experian. They will issue you a failing score if they know you exist. So you can go to creditsuite.com/reports to do a free check to see if anything is showing up on your record right now. So here's how this works. And I'll actually show you right now how this actually works online. So if I go to creditsuite.com/reports, then it allows me to do a free check to see if the reporting agencies know that I exist. If the reporting agencies know I exist, then there's a very good chance that they can actually give me a failing credit profile and a failing score, which is not what we want. So you see, if you go to creditsuite.com/reports, you can find things like this, where you just simply enter your business name. Once you enter your business name, you don't even need to enter the city. You could just come in and enter the state. And one of three things is going to happen. It's either going to pull up nothing, or it's going to pull up a record with no trades, or it's going to pull up an account with trades. Now, it looks like from a distance that all we're doing here is that we're actually coming in and it's selling credit reports. But if you look above it, you're seeing the name, the address. Remember, I only entered the state. It pulled up the rest of my address, and you can see here that I have trade lines. If nothing pulls up, you're good. If your name pulls up with no trades, you want to pull your business credit report. And if trade pops up, then that means that you have trade lines reporting. Now, let me show you what it looks like, because a lot of companies here have failing credit profiles and scores, even when they have absolutely no credit reporting. And I'll show you that right now. Let me get this zoomed into 100% here. This is what it looks like. Oh, that's not it. So you can see this is what somebody's credit profile looks like with even one account reporting, as long as they pay the account as agreed. But the problem is that if you come in and you don't have any credit reporting, you could be looking at something like this. So for example, this is a score, 27, 28, or 29, that somebody's usually issued if they have absolutely no business credit. Here, I'll show you. You can see that they're medium to high risk, medium risk, on IntelliScore, which is Experian's main score. You can see here that they're very high risk when it comes to financial stability. This indicates whether you're going to file bankruptcy. And then you can see here that somebody has 0 accounts. There's absolutely no credit. I'm at the end of the credit report. So with no credit reporting, they're issued a failing score if they know your name, your address, and your SIC code. Now, the good news is I'm about to show you if you get even one account that you pay as agreed, and you can see this credit report, somebody only has one account, which I'll show you how to get the same packaging account here in just a few minutes. With that one account, that took them from that same failing score all the way to a good score, and out of 0 to 100, with 100 being the highest, you have a very, very, very high score. So this is why you need to go to creditsuite.com/reports and do this free search with Equifax Experian and with DMB to see if they know you exist now. Because if they know you exist now, you could be issued a failing report and score. Think about that. Imagine having a consumer credit score of 500 and not even knowing it. And now you're running around trying to get credit and not realizing you have bad credit. You don't want to do that for your business. Go to creditsuite.com/reports and do that free search. Pepsi, I think I'm pronouncing your name correctly. If I'm not, correct me. Quick question. I notice Experian do not have my virtual address, but my home address. How can I fix this? Will that be a problem? Go to Experian, get credit monitoring online, and then once you get it, you can dispute it right on their online platform. Okay, they let you dispute it if you have credit monitoring with them. And yes, you can correct this. And yes, you want to make sure that that address is correct, but you have to know that the reason that they're using a different address is because somewhere online, you use that address. That address is somewhere online, or you used it to apply for credit at one point in time, which is why they have that address. That's why you want to try to avoid that, because it's not the easiest thing to be able to get that fixed. So start their business credit reporting process. creditsuite.com/DUNS for your DUNS number. Do that free search here to see if they know that anything exists on you now. Okay, so trade credit. So the next step is we want to start getting credit. We want to open what are called net 30 accounts. Maybe they're net 10, maybe they're net 15, maybe they're net 45. This means you have 30 days to pay the account in its entirety. It's not like a revolving account where you can actually come in and make minimum payments. Now you've got to use vendors that report to the business credit reporting agencies, CRAs. 97% of trade vendors don't report, so you need to make sure that you come in and get credit that does report to the reporting agencies. Okay, you also need them to approve you even if you don't have any established credit. So there's two things we're looking for here. We're looking for them to approve you even with no credit reporting, because you're just starting your business credit reports. And we need to make sure they report to the business credit reporting agencies. Okay, so for example, a Capital One account, Capital One reports to consumer and business reporting agencies, not one you want. You want one that only reports to the business reporting agencies, not the consumer reporting agencies. And I'm going to show you and talk about which one of those some of these are. So you've got to use that credit. You've got to pay the bill timely. Okay, it's very, very important. You've got to wait till the items ship before you actually pay. So here's how this works. If you order something from a place like Quill, which I'll show you in a second how that works, then if you pay it before they ship it, it's considered to be a cash transaction. It wouldn't count as being credit. So you have to wait for them to ship. Once they ship, you want to pay the bill as soon as they'll let you. Places like Quill will let you pay as soon as they ship. Places like Staples will not let you pay until they populate your statement, which sometimes takes weeks after. I never wait for my statements to pay the bill. The minute I'm spending money with Amazon, for example, I record it on my to-do list, and I'm checking in about every few days until I know what Amazon's reporting cycle is. I'm checking in every few days to see the minute they populate a statement to let me pay, and the minute they let me pay, I pay the bill. Here, let me tell you why. Derek Harper made it. I just was hanging out with Derek in Dallas, Texas. I hope he had a happy birthday last week, buddy. Okay, so here's why. Business credit scores are primarily based on how you pay your bill, okay? So if you pay your bill on time, you get an 80 out of 100 score. If you pay it early, you get a 90 or 100 score. So, hey, guys, something really easy to control. All you need to do is get credit that reports and pay the bill on time. So because that one factor is completely in your control, you control whether you have an 80, 90, 150, 70 score. Pay your bills on time. Pay it as soon as you can. As soon as you can pay that bill, make sure that you pay that bill. It's very, very, very important. So again, you've got to pay the bill. You got to make sure that the item is shipped before you pay the bill. And you have to remember, it can take 30 to 90 days for that item to report on the credit card. A lot of people ask me, how long does it take to build business credit? Well, it depends on how long it takes for the accounts that you get to actually report, and they're all a little different. Some report quarterly, every 3 months. Some report monthly. So you want to try to stay with the ones that report monthly. Now, how do you know this? Well, if you're using a service like what we provide, you know all that. It's available for you. If you're not, it requires due diligence. It requires you calling the credit issuers to ask these questions so you actually know what the answers are. But either way you want to go, you want to make sure that you know how often the credit reports and try to stick with credit issuers that report every 30 days because that's what's going to help you build your business credit faster. So let's take a look at some of these sources. Now, Uline sells shipping supplies. So all kinds of supplies like packaging supplies and shipping supplies, and they report to Dun & Bradstreet. Quill sells office supplies. They have over 1 million products actually, and they report to D&B as well. Behalf.com. They give you the ability to accept payments from customers, and when you accept payments from customers, you can actually get credit for that as well with Behalf. And Granger sells outdoor supplies, and they report to D&B. So there's about 4 of those. Derek, thanks for sharing. Derek just said he's sharing this. Have you shared this post? Guys, if you guys are getting information, if this provides value, then do me a favor. Give me some likes and share it to let other people in. Let's not keep this information under wraps. These credit issuers don't want you to know this. I don't think that's fair. I think it's fair that all small business owners should know this. So if it makes sense, share it. Let's let other small business owners know that this is happening so they can jump in and succeed with this as well. Behalf. Behalf is a great service to start building business credit. So let's take a look at this. So we're looking at Quill.com. If I'm going to build business credit with Quill, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come up and I'm going to put stuff in my shopping cart. Now, Quill wants you to spend about $50 or now $100 before they're actually going to report the item. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead just for an example, and I'm going to go ahead and just say that I want 11 things of toilet paper. Okay, it's probably not I would normally buy, but I'm over $100 here. I'm going to go ahead and click the shopping cart to check out. Now, when I go through the process here and proceed to checkout, it's not going to let me get very far. It's going to make me do this, new customer or returning customer. I'm going to click check in as guest. Here's what happens. Now, when you come over here, you're able to actually come in and you're able to actually choose as you come in here that you want to create an account, and you can come in and avoid this. And they just changed all this. You can actually avoid this altogether. So you can actually come in and you can select that you want to create an account. And when you create an account, and I can't do it now because I've not created this whole thing, then they actually allow you to come in and check out without entering the actual credit card information when you enter all the information here. So you basically just got to put the money in the shopping cart, and once you've done so, you then want to enter the account. And once you've entered the account, they'll let you then check out using credit instead of entering a credit card number. They're actually issuing you credit. Now, you have to be careful here because when you go through this process, there is no elaborate celebration. There isn't. You don't get a congratulations approval in the mail. They don't send you a credit card. They don't even tell you you're approved for credit. What they do is they ship your items. When they ship your items, congrats, you know you've been approved. Now, other sources like we'll talk about here in step 6 will actually notify you. You'll get a physical credit card. You'll know what your limit is. But in these other cases with vendors, they won't even tell you your limits until you actually come in and go in and use the credit or call them. If you don't call them and ask them what the limits are, they won't even tell you. So what we got to do here is we got to get some of these initial vendor accounts. Uline, Quill, Behalf, Granger, for example, okay? So Pepsi says, I will see an open account. Perfect. Alexander says, there's no excuse on what to buy if Quill sells toilet paper. Everyone needs no excuse. Quill sells a bunch of stuff. They sell marketing supplies. Guys, thanks for the happy. Thanks for the likes. They sell marketing supplies. They sell printing services. They sell yard signs. There's all kinds of stuff as entrepreneurs that we know about this, that they can buy at Quill. So Quill provides you more stuff than you'll ever actually need to come in and be successful to build business credit. There's all kinds of things. Uline sells shipping supplies. Everybody needs shipping supplies. So there's all kinds of things you can get at these places where you can easily come in and build business credit. Guys, those of you sharing, thank you guys very much for sharing. We're getting the word out there, which is what we want. We want everybody to know how this works when you come in and build business credit. So please share this. Let's get everybody in on this. So to recap, you got to build that business legitimate. You've got to set up your website. You've got to set up your phone number. You have to set up, enlist yourself on 411. You need to get your tax ID number. You need to get an address, either a physical address, a virtual address, a home address at last resort. You need to get any necessary licenses that you need. You need to make sure that all your information is listed consistent online. Once we've set up a reputable business, then you want to go and you want to make sure you have your EIN. You want to make sure you go to the Secretary of State and use this information to make sure that you do it. Okay, once you've done so, then you want to get set up with the reporting agencies. You want to go to creditsuite.com/reports to see if anything is reporting on your reports now that you might not know about. Because remember, reporting agencies will easily give you a failing score even if you have absolutely no credit. Do you have a failing score? Go to creditsuite.com/reports. It's free to find out. Also go to creditsuite.com/duns so you can know. That's what happens when people share. Somebody's like, oh, we went from 20 to 269. That's good marketing. Yes, that's what happens when you share. You also need to make sure that you get your free DUNS number, because in order to get set up with Dun & Bradstreet, you must have 3 accounts reporting and a DUNS number as well. The next step, you've got to get initial credit. You've got to go to vendors that will give you credit when you have none. You have to go to vendors who report the credit to the business credit reporting agencies. And I just gave you some of the best, and I'll give you another one, which is Gimplers. Uline, Quill, Granger, Gimplers, Behalf. All of these sell things that business owners need. All of them will give you credit when you have none. All of them have credit that reports to the business credit reporting agency. So it will all help you build business credit. Okay, 4A. What if you don't want to use vendors? Well, we've got alternatives. You can try what's called unsecured business financing, or try D&B's Credit Builder. Now, be cautious of D&B's Credit Builder. Here's why. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the loves. Everybody's going crazy. It's awesome. With D&B's Credit Builder, they will charge you about $2,000, maybe less, depending on who you are. But the problem is you're only building credit with Dun & Bradstreet. Can you imagine having consumer credit with only TransUnion and not Equifax or Experian? That's what happens when you use D&B's Credit Builder. You want to make sure that you build credit with all 3 reporting agencies. So even if you use D&B's Credit Builder, you're still going to have to build business credit using the rest of the steps we're talking about. This is a blessing for you to give us this information. Derek, thank you very much, man. And thanks for sharing. I think your share brought like 200 people in the room, so that's awesome. Okay, so that being said, you've got to make sure that you probably avoid D&B's Credit Builder, because you're still going to have to follow these steps to build business credit with the other reporting agencies. But there is another alternative. It's called unsecured business financing, and it's brilliant. With this, you can get up to $150,000 in financing. You get 0% rates for 6 to 18 months. You get 5 to 8 cash credit lines that report to the business credit reporting agencies. Now, if you don't have good credit, you need about a 685 credit score. You could get with Derek Harper. Derek will get you good business, or he will get you the good credit scores that you need. Or you can use a guarantor. You can get this as a startup, and it's no doc. You don't need cash flow, or you don't need collateral. Here's how this works. I just showed you how to use vendor credit to build your business credit. You can get Uline, Quill, Granger, Gimplers. They don't even pull your personal credit at all. So no matter how sucky your credit may be, you can still get it. But what if you have good credit? What if you have a guarantor with good credit? Then you use unsecured business financing. They give you cash credit lines, lines that you can take the physical cash out on. Beyond the cash credit lines, you get 0% rates for 6 to 18 months on those accounts, and they report the credit to the business credit reporting agencies. They report it to Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, and Experian. So you get your 5 to 8 accounts right there from cash credit, and you can get cash credit even as a startup. You just need about a 685 FICO or higher. So you could build business credit using these vendors as we've talked about, or you could use business credit using unsecured business financing. Either way, you need about 5 accounts. And once you do that, then you can move to the next step. But before we move to revolving credit, you have to monitor your business credit reports. You have to see when these accounts or these vendor accounts start getting reported. So in order to do so, you've got to get credit monitoring. Now, normally credit monitoring is $210 a month with Experian and D&B. If you go to creditsuite.com/monitoring, creditsuite.com/monitoring, you get it for only $24 a month, and you get your Dun & Bradstreet and you get your actual Experian credit reports as well. So that way, it saves you $2,200 a year in credit monitoring just by going to creditsuite.com/monitoring. And here, I will show you exactly what that looks like. So you've got to now monitor your business credit reports because you have to see these accounts that you've got actually reporting on your business credit reports. As these accounts start to actually report and show on your business credit reports, then that's when you can move to the next step once you have 5 accounts reporting. Now, what if you've just gone through bankruptcy? It doesn't matter. They don't look at your personal credit. So even if you've gone through bankruptcy, it doesn't matter because they're not going to pull your personal business credit to pull your personal credit report, which is the beautiful thing about business credit. I need to see this from the beginning. Go. It's on our Facebook page, facebook.com/credit suite. And we will at the end probably rehash the steps to catch you up if you're watching. So here, I'll show you how this works. So this is what you get for the $24 a month with D&B and Experian. Through this NAV integration, you're able to actually see your Experian scores, your Dun & Bradstreet scores, and you're able to see all the information about your business. The business information, the summary data, lawsuits that you may have had. You're also able to come in and see all the accounts. You're able to see all your trade lines, all your accounts here that report to Experian and Dun & Bradstreet. And it's only $24 a month at creditsuite.com/monitoring thanks to NAV. So it saves you $2,200 a year, and it gives you business information, factors influencing your score, summary data, trade lines, judgments and filings, tax liens. All of this information is available so you can easily build your business credit and monitor these accounts as you go. Now, Michael says, if you have any questions or would like a free consultation with one of our Credit Suite team members, let me know and can set you up. Michael's on this call, so let him know if you want to learn more about business credit or if you want to talk to somebody about building business credit. And here's a free guide that can help you as well. creditsuite.com/Facebook. creditsuite.com/Facebook is a great free 4-step guide that maps out these steps in detail just so you know, okay? Just so you know that you can come in and make sure that you actually get the steps to build your business credit at creditsuite.com/Facebook or work with Michael who just came in here and he can help you do exactly the same thing. So now we're monitoring the business credit. Now we get to the fun stuff. With 5 of these accounts reporting, then you start to get to actual revolving credit. These are credit accounts like Dell and Apple and Amazon and Sam's. Here to show you what some actual approval accounts really look like. This is what kind of credit's available when you build business credit. Quill, Uline, Office Depot, Grainger, Seton, Apple. Okay, these are all real approvals, and you can see how high they are. Best Buy for 40 grand, AutoZone for 5 grand. Dell for 40,000, okay? Wex Fleet Card for 25 grand. Bank of America Chase cards for 11. Sam's Club for 14,000. So these are the kind of approvals that you can get when you're actually coming in and building business credit. If you're not already, go to our group, creditsuite.com/get business credit. And if you go to creditsuite.com/get business credit, what you'll find is you'll find all different kinds of people that are coming in and sharing these exact same kind of approvals. The same kind of approvals that you can get for your business if you're following this step. Just by scrolling through the group, you can come in and see all kinds of approvals that people are getting, and they give you all kinds of details as well of the actual types of credit you can get, the steps to actually get approved for this kind of credit. It's really valuable. For example, here's one I just saw today, approved without a personal guarantee. Congrats, Stephanie. You can see right here with a $3,600 approval. So you can just get an idea of how this works, all the different kind of approvals we have. Here's another approval here you can see. Okay, so everybody comes in and is getting approved for this kind of credit. And in our group, Get Business Credit, you can actually see all these kind of real approvals. So you can see what everybody's doing to get approved, and everybody's giving you feedback on how they're getting these approvals without a personal guarantee, without a personal credit check, so you can actually come in and succeed. And you can see here that these are all kinds of approvals that we're seeing if you're going through that. So that can help you. It's a great resource of your peers that will help you through this process. Pepsi says, I'm so happy that I've been in the right direction and just got approved for 2 vendors. Congratulations, 3 more to go. Let's continue. So now you know how to get store credit. Once you get about 8 to 10 accounts, you can start to get what's called fleet credit. This is for auto vehicle repairs. It's for maintenance. It's for fuel. These are fleet cards that you can get and use basically to buy or to fund the fleet of vehicles, to get the fuel you need, the maintenance you need, all those different types of things. Now, when you get to about 14 accounts, that's when you get to what's called cash credit, Visa cards, MasterCards, and auto vehicle financing without a personal guarantee, without a personal credit check. Now at this point, you'll need to have at least one account revolving that's got a $10,000 limit reporting to the credit reporting agencies, and you'll need to have 14 accounts to get to Visa cards, MasterCards, American Express, auto financing. So again, this is where you get Ford. It's where you get GM. It's where you get Ally Financial to get auto vehicle financing. Christine, who was on here with us earlier, had got $180,000 in financing at Ford, for example. It's where you can get Visa cards, MasterCards, American Express. PNC Bank is giving these credit cards with no PG, no credit check. American Express is giving their credit cards with no banking or no personal guarantee, no personal credit check. Chase Inc. is giving them. BJ's, sometimes in, sometimes out, whether they give you these kind of MasterCards. So again, what this comes down to is the final step of building business credit takes about only 4 to 6 months to get to the end. And then you're getting the Visa cards, the MasterCards, and you're also getting auto vehicle financing without the personal guarantee and without the personal credit check. And the last step, you got to maintain your credit. You have to pay your bills timely. Pay your bills as agreed. You need to make sure that you keep using the credit. The reporting agencies show the recent amount of credit you're using, so you need to make sure that you use that credit. Show you what this looks like on a real credit report. If you're not using the credit, it's going to be harder to get more credit because they only want to issue you credit if you're actually using the credit. So you can't just go get credit and not use it. You want to use the credit, and I'll show you why. Because commercial credit reports show the recent amount of credit you're using. If it's a small amount, then your future approvals will be a small amount. But the more you're actually using your credit, the higher this number goes of recent high credit limit you're using. And then the next subsequent, the future credit issuers you're applying for are then going to approve you for even more money. So the key here is that you can't just come and make sure that you're building business credit. You got to use the business credit. Guys, if this makes sense, share this. Get the word out there, okay? Share it, like this, share it to make sure we're telling other people how this works. Here's the problem. The problem is credit issuers don't want you guys to know this. It's why we're not taught this stuff. They default knowing that medium and larger businesses have CFO and financial savvy people that know this stuff. But us as small business owners, we're not taught this stuff. So they rely on our ignorance for them to succeed. We can't do that. So share this. Let's let other people in here. We want to make sure that as many people know as possible that business credit exists. Here's the exact steps to get it so we can all succeed as one unit and we can come in and do the same thing the big guys are doing without having their CFO, without their financial savvy people, without having that prior knowledge. That's how we succeed. As business owners, we succeed by working together and helping each other and by sharing information freely with each other that helps each other succeed and become even better. So you've got to use the credit. Then you've got to keep applying and getting more credit. The more credit you get, the more credit you use, the higher the approval amounts are. That's how you get these higher limit accounts, okay? And when you do that, you also want to ask for limit increases. My rule is very simple, okay? Derek says the group is called Get Business Credit, and if you go to, even type in business credit in groups, you'll pull up our group, Get Business Credit. It's got about, I don't know, a bunch of people in it. And we see about 25,000 engagements every 28 days. So it'll really help you. Candace says, do I need to purchase the D&B Credit Builder program? I applied for the free DUNS number, but they're telling me I have to buy it. Candace, great job. Pepsi's like, no, don't do it. Here's what happens, guys. D&B's Credit Builder is where you pay them money to take existing accounts you have and add it to your D&B credit profile and score. That doesn't sound bad. Here's the problems. Problem one, they won't let you add bank credit. They won't let you add credit cards. They won't let you add utilities. They won't let you add rent. They won't let you add leases. They won't let you add property that you own and property payments. They won't let you add anything that they don't want you to add. So if you take out all those things, what do you have to add? There's not a lot left you can add to your report. Second problem, if you pay them thousands of dollars, all they're going to do is build your D&B credit profile and score. What good is that? You still have to build Experian and Equifax. That's what credit issuers and lenders are looking at most. So even if you paid D&B thousands of dollars, you'd still have to follow the same steps because you can't just have one credit profile and not have the others. Again, think about it. If you only built TransUnion and you never built your Experian or Equifax consumer report, you wouldn't get a lot of credit cards. You couldn't get cars. You couldn't get mortgages. So don't pay D&B's Credit Builder. Are they telling you that you need to? Of course, they will. But if you do research, you'll see they have a bunch of class action lawsuits for this reason as well. You're talking to a division of Dun & Bradstreet called D&B Credit or Dun & Bradstreet Credibility. It's not even actually D&B. Here's my promise to you. If D&B ever contacts you, they're trying to sell you something. I don't want to keep you in suspense. You do not need to buy what they're actually selling, okay? So it's your choice if you want to buy it or not, but you do not have to buy what they're actually selling. You don't need to D&B's Credit Builder because you can get the DUNS number for free at creditsuite.com/DUNS. And even though they tell you you have to pay them to activate your credit profile, it's not true. There's two things you need to activate your credit profile. Your DUNS number, which is free, 3 accounts reporting to D&B, which I just showed you how to get. So if you have those two things, 3 accounts reporting to D&B and your DUNS number, they activate your credit profile automatically, even though they don't want you to know that. That's the real truth. So if you want to pay them, but you absolutely do not need to, no matter what they say. If you follow the steps that we just mapped out here, you can still be successful. You can still build your business credit. You can still activate your credit profile with Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian without paying them a dime. So save your money, keep it in your pocket, because I'm sure you could better use that money to grow your business than pay them for something you don't need, okay? Yep, you guys need to join the group, Get Business Credits Family. I learned so much. Pepsi, I appreciate that. So join our group and like our page. Guys, I go live like this every week. We talk about how anybody can get money to grow a business. We talk about Business Credit 101. We talk about how your bank credit scores work. So go to facebook.com, like our page and subscribe, and you'll get notified when we go live. Okay, so let's take a real quick overview here. Credit that's linked to your EIN, not your social security number. All this credit you get without a personal guarantee. You can get it without cash flow or collateral requirements. There's no effect on your consumer credit report. All of this credit reports on your business credit reports, not your consumer. So it doesn't adversely affect your utilization, and there's no inquiries on your consumer credit reports. You can even get it as a startup business. Now remember, corporate credit's the official name for getting credit without a personal guarantee. Sometimes I like to loosely refer to it as business credit, but if you want no PG, in case it ever matters, it is officially referred to as corporate credit. Remember, don't put your social security number on the application. If you do, there's a good chance you're going to provide a personal credit check and a guarantee. If you don't want that, you have to leave the social blank. Never put anything in this field. It's illegal. You have 2 felonies if you do it. I'm not a lawyer, but you can ask one. So you want to leave this field blank. And you want to follow these steps in order. Remember, set up that business legitimate. Get a website. Get an email address. Professional email address, not a Yahoo or Google. Get a toll-free number. Get a fax number, okay? Make sure your phone number is listed with 411. Never use a home phone. Never use a mobile phone on a business application. Get a real physical business address or get a virtual address. creditsuite.com/virtual. Okay, this is where you rent an address to get mail at. Use a home address at last resort. Some sources like Walmart still won't approve you. You may see a picture of your house on your credit report, but you never want to use a UPS address or a PO box ever. It will get you denied. Get all necessary licenses that you have. Make sure that you get a business address or give your business phone number, and make sure that your address, your phone number, everything is consistent online. All places need to be listed exactly the same. And that all sets it up where your business is visually reputable. Once you've done so, you have everything you need to now go in and get your EIN number. Well, actually, you're going to get your entity with the Secretary of State first. then get your EIN from the IRS.gov. Only go to IRS.gov to get it because it's free there. Some companies will try to sell it to you. And get a bank account. Why do you need a bank account? You don't need to show your bank account to get business credit approvals, but some applications ask for bank references. This is why you need to get the bank account, because some sources will ask for those bank references. Now, as a refresher, go to creditsuite.com/Facebook, and creditsuite.com/Facebook. You can get a free guide on building business credit. And again, our group is Get Business Credit, where you get a ton of people that will help you through this process as well. Okay, next, you want to start building business credit. You got to do this by getting your DUNS number for Dun & Bradstreet, creditsuite.com/DUNS. They will call you and try to sell you something. You do not need to buy it. If you follow the steps, you'll get it. I'm showing you, you'll get everything you need without paying them a dime. Okay, and do a free search at creditsuite.com/report. Remember, guys, you can and will be issued a failing business credit score even if you have no credit reporting with Equifax and Experian. You have to do this free check to see if anything is reporting on you now, even if you have no credit. Okay, now Pepsi says you guys can go to GoDaddy. Okay, so she's giving some good advice, virtual address. Or will credit union be sufficient? Yes, it works perfect. If you have a credit union, they will work absolutely fine as a bank reference. Now we've done a free search at creditsuite.com/reports. We got the free DUNS number. The next thing you want to do is start building business credit. You're using vendors that actually offer terms like Net 30, which gives you 30 days to pay it in full. Okay? Now, when you do this, you need to make sure that you're getting credit with credit issuers that report to the business credit reporting agencies. And you also need to make sure that you're getting credit that will approve you even if you have no established credit now. Some of those sources include Uline that sells shipping supplies, Quill that sells office supplies, Behalf that helps you with customer invoice financing, Granger and Gimplers which sell outdoor equipment. They will all give you credit when you have none, and they will all give it to you without a personal guarantee and a credit check. An alternative, unsecured business financing. With unsecured business financing, if you have a 680 FICO score, you can get up to $150,000 in financing with 0% rates, even as a startup, no doc, 0% for 6 to 18 months. You get 5 to 8 cards that report to the reporting agencies. You can even use a guarantor with good credit. I've given you 2 ways to build business credit. Vendors that have no credit check, this one that does, but it gets you cash credit. Now, if that makes sense, here's our phone number. You can give us a call with any questions so far or what we talked about, or even to get approved with this, you just need a 680 or higher FICO or a guarantor that has it. Next thing you want to do is we got to start monitoring the business credit reports because we added these accounts. Now we need to make sure they're reported. You can go to creditsuite.com/monitoring and get credit monitoring for $24 a month. It's $210 a month if you go to Experian and D&B to get the same thing we get through NAV at only $24 a month. Okay, once you monitor it and make sure that you have 5 accounts reporting, then you can move on to store credit. You move on to Apple, Dell, Amazon, Sam's Club, Walmart. Now you got to remember, we want to make sure that you leave the Social Security number off the application or you're providing the personal guarantee and credit check. Here's a look at some real approvals, okay? You can get $15,000 at Shell, okay? $5,000 Exxon, $20,000 at Costco, Sam's Club, $14,000. Sam's is approving people like crazy right now. So's Pilot Flying J, $50,000 approval. Dell for $40,000. These are all people that follow our live streams, and these are all results that we're actually tracking for them. So these are the kind of approvals that you start to get when you start to get revolving credit accounts. Remember, guys, revolving accounts have approval limits 10 to 100 times higher than consumer credit. It's very common for you to actually have limits that are $10,000, $20,000 in 3 months of starting to build business credit. It's very common for you to get limits of $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, okay, once you're 4, 5, 6 months in. If this makes sense, again, share this. Let's get other people to know this information. So it's very quick to build business credit, and the limits are much higher than what you're used to as a consumer, okay? It might sound crazy to get a $40,000 limit, but is it? Business owners have an appetite for more credit, which is why the limits are so much higher. Marcy says, is it problematic if I attempted to set up my D&B number and they requested my social? No, they often will. That's okay. Just don't put your social on applications for credit. That's where it matters most. Now you move to fleet credit. With 8 to 10 accounts, you can start to get Shell and Costco and places that you can get fuel, repairs, and maintenance. Does this matter to you? It may not, okay? But it will matter to you if you have a fleet of vehicles. If you have a fleet of big rig trucks, it costs you $600 to $1,000 to fill the gas on one truck. So it matters. Maybe you just want to get fuel and maintenance and repairs on your primary vehicle. That's what fleet credit is. And in the final step is when you have 14 accounts reporting. Remember, it only takes 30 to 60 days typically for them to report. You get Visa card, MasterCard, Amex. As long as you have 14 accounts reporting and one of those has a $10,000 limit, if you follow the steps I've told you, if you get 14, one of them will have a $10,000 limit. And you also get auto vehicle financing as well. Ally Financial, GM, and Ford, they all offer that. One of our clients has got $180,000 at Ford with no PG, no credit check. Final step, step 9. Pay your bills timely. Your whole business credit scores are based on how you pay your bills. Here's how the scores work. How you pay your bills determines your score. If you want the best score, you pay the payment early. If you want a decent score, then you pay your bills agreed. As you start to pay your bills late, your scores go down. All 3 reporting agencies, Equifax, Experian, are the same way. So you've got to make sure you pay those bills timely. Remember some of the advice I gave. They have to ship the item first. It won't count as credit unless the item is fulfilled. The order is fulfilled, which typically means shipped. So you need to make sure the item is shipped. As soon as it's shipped and they let you pay. Quill lets me pay as soon as it's shipped. Staples makes me wait till the statement's populated, so I then have to wait, but I keep an eye on it, and as soon as they open the door to let me pay, I pay it. I don't even wait for the statement. Why not? Your credit scores are based on how you pay. Pay as early as possible. The better score you have, the better rates and terms you get on credit and financing, so that's something that's easy for you to control. So you want to make sure you pay those bills as agreed. Okay. You also want to make sure that you continue to apply to get more credit, and you want to make sure that you're using that credit on a regular basis, and that's what gets you higher limits. And also ask for limit increases every month. Every 6 months, I ask every credit issuer I have for limit increases. And you know what? Most of them give it to me without even pulling my personal credit report. Even in my personal world, they do the same thing. Amex, every single time I ask for a limit, they give me an approval. I keep asking them for more, they approve it. Last time, I asked them to increase my limit by 50%, and instantaneously they said yes. You know why they did it? Because I asked. And because I use the credit regularly. The key to business credit is to get it and to use it for things you really need to build your business credit profile and score. And then as you build it, just like with consumer credit, you qualify for more and more and more credit. And it also makes you more lendable, gets you better rates and terms on the financing that you can get. And it also makes sure that you get the best terms, the most amount of money, and get approved versus denied. A few resources as we part ways. Go to creditsuite.com/Facebook. Get our free guide at creditsuite.com/Facebook. Do you have questions? If you'd like to talk to us, give us a call. Don't even bother scheduling a consultation. Our consultations are backed up 2 weeks right now, but you can call and get right in at 877-600-2487. Make sure you get in our group. Get Business Credit. Here's why. Heck with our Facebook page. Facebook won't even show you when we go live on our Facebook page, but if you're in our group, Get Business Credit, they will show you when we go live. And if you're in this group, you will see that it is mind-blowing how awesome this group is. The group is often sharing approvals of what they're doing, and they're mapping out exactly what they're doing along the way. They're mapping out their actual approvals so you see what's possible, and you also learn the steps to actually come in and be able to get approved, okay? So we have a ton of engagement. We have, to give you an idea, just to give you kind of an idea of what happens in our group, I'll show you. Here's the engagement. Okay, 2,000 members in the last 28 days. Every 28 days, there's 29,000 posts, comments, and reactions. That's how much engagement is taking place. I'm only telling you this because if you want a bunch of your peers that are going through the same process, that are openly sharing and helping each other, you should come into this group, because in the group, you'll know when we go live, and you also in the group are being able to share your results, your success with your peers, and then learn from what they're doing so you can come in and be successful. And again, these kind of approvals. This was just posted 4 hours ago, and you can see here that here's an actual approval somebody just got with no personal guarantee. And as we scroll, we just saw Derek, Credit Repair University. We continue to see more and more approvals. So this group is as full, and this was 5 hours ago. So these are just 2 approvals in the last 5 hours. And as we come through, we're able to see more approvals, which will then help you know what to do to be successful. So that group is Get Business Credit. You forget the name, just go to groups and type in business credit. I assure you, ours will be first because so many people are using it. So don't forget, creditsuite.com/Facebook to get your free guide on building business credit. If you have any questions, give us a ring, 877-600-2487. Like and be part of our page, Get Business Credit, because in doing so, you'll be notified whenever we go live, and we go live every week. And here's the kind of topics that we cover. How anyone can get money to grow a business. How the formula works that banks are looking at to get you approved. Do you know you have 3 types of credit, including a bank credit scores? Banks have an internal credit scores they use to determine if you should be approved or denied. We decode this type of stuff. We decode the basics of business credit. We decode building business credit. So, and in the weeks to come, there's a lot more things we're going to be getting to with credit scores, how your credit scores work, and all different things that will help you get financing and credit for your business. Thanks for tuning in. It's been an awesome ride. There's a bunch of comments rolling through. I missed the numbers. If I missed your comment, then I make sure that you give us a call, and I will make sure that we get your questions answered, or go to Get Business Credit and post there, and we will make sure that we get you something there. Let you know as well. And again, one final time, share this. It's not too late. People can come back and see it on the replay. I thank you very much for tuning in, and I will see you all next. No, I won't be here next week. I'm on vacation. 2 weeks on Wednesday at 4 o'clock Eastern here on Facebook. If you want to be alerted, go to our messenger on our page, facebook.com/Credit Suite. Type in the words EIN. If you type in the word EIN in our messenger, you'll get our free guide that will help you build business credit. You'll also be alerted when we go live, or go to Get Business Credit, join our group, get help with a lot of your peers. And in doing so, you'll also be alerted when we go live almost every week. I think Michael, who's in here today, probably will be going live next week in my absence. I don't know. I'll talk to him and see if he'll do that. So everybody, I don't have your number here, Derman, so do me a favor. Email info@creditsuite.com, your phone number, and we will make sure that we give you a call. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks when I'm back. And I don't know if Michael will fill in for me in the next week or not. I got to talk to him and make sure. But if not, in the future of my absence, he'll be filling in for me. I'll see you in the Get Business Credit group. Again, the group's name is Get Business Credit. If you go to groups on Facebook and just type in Business Credit, you'll easily find the group because it's the first one that will pop up. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.